It's truly a time to be living. Welcome to the Dragon's Roost, Episode 7. I'm one of your co-hosts, Midnight Reala, and we are here for a special edition podcast, New Year's. But I'm not alone. I'm with my trusty co-host. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hey guys, it's Jakchoy. Sorry I couldn't be here for the last episode, but here I am.
Sweet. First of all, I'd like to apologize to the viewers. You guys probably had to sit through the most boring episode of the podcast to date when it was just me. But now we're back at it. We have that banter going on. We got that comedy. We back in here, boys. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because, at first we were like, we need to avoid having only two people on the podcast at all costs. And then we ended up having a podcast where we just have one
had one person
just talking to himself.
I like how that plan, that plan was really good. It's just like, we need to have three people on the show. It turns out we had one.
Yeah,
for one.
That kind of nosedived really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is that we at least needed to cover it in some capacity, and since it was a Christmas event, it was pretty big. It was pretty imperative for me to tell people to start polling because of the limited units.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, just as a quick reflection on 2018, 2018 was a bit of a soft launch for the Dragon's Roost. So in the new year, we're going to be taking it to new heights with some better production values and just some overall more community interaction. We're going to give you more information on what we plan to do at the end of the episode. So please stay tuned for that. And we'll also leave a timestamp in the description if you're just interested in what we have planned for the future. But without further ado, this is going to be a standard summon showcase type of episode where we talk about the new event, we talk about the new units, and then we'll talk about a bit about the value packs that just got released for this game. So, before we get into all the new stuff, let's talk about what has passed us. The Miracle of Dragon Yule. How did the event go for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty normal. It was just a facility event. I didn't feel like it was anything too special. It was also really easy for me because I think my wind team is probably my strongest element, my water team is my strongest element. So it was a pretty good, easy breeze.
Mm-hmm. For me, I didn't spend too much time on this event, the holiday season, because I got a lot of new games. So I got Spyro and Pokemon Let's Go, and I've been playing those along with the Roll Ends With You Switch Edition, which is really freaking amazing. I really do recommend that, but without getting too much off topic, I just did the bare essentials I needed to do for the event. Got my facility up to level 30. I grinded out a few things that I wanted to get. I was able to enhance my water adventures a bit more than what they were at before. And now they're happy. I also pulled Christmas Cleo. She's a cutie patootie.
She is a cutie patootie. I'm so happy I pulled Dragon Yule John. I feel like that was the highlight of the event.
Yeah, there were 3 thigh highs in the event, and I got all 3 of them.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That determines the quality of a banner. There were 3 thigh highs that last event. I think there's 0 in this banner. So, thanks for watching this episode of the Dragon's Roost. Please don't pull in this banner. There's 0 thigh highs. It's not worth pulling. See you guys later. No. Alright, bait and switch, boys. Alright, so that was the event that just passed us, the Miracle of Dragon Yule. So, there is a new event called New Year's Tidings, Fortune from Afar, which is a raid battle with Dark Element as the advantage.
Wow.
Which is very interesting. Wow, Cygames didn't forget about Dark Element.
Dark Element is a thing?
Hell yeah, dude. Alright. So, it's a raid boss. It has very interesting mechanics. You're confronted by this New Year's festivity Beyblade spinning loving master here. I don't remember the boss's name. Do you by any chance?
Hold on. His name is Shishimai. Shishimai. So yeah, before we go into the whole raid boss and gameplay stuff, I feel like from a story standpoint, this event also stands out. Because I think this is the first time where the raid boss is actually the free dragon unit that we can get from an event. I think that's a first, right? And there was actually a lot of firsts in this event that I could count. The other one was that we actually got to fight a playable unit. I think that's a first too. I was really surprised that we were able to fight Ieyashi and Suzuka and Adidas, who were their normal unit size, not blown out of proportion like Imperial Onslaughter or something. Yeah. So I'm starting to wonder if that's indicating PvP ish? Because now we know it's definitely possible. Like,
well, I mean, fighting another unit hasn't been anything new. Like, we fought Ranzo in the story. If you remember that. Yeah,
oh,
so
that's
it's
true.
something that they probably have coded, but it's not something that we see in a large scale for any
Yeah.
reason. So you are right.
It's like
it's
yeah,
not something
in
that
an
we
event,
see
yeah.
often.
Okay.
But it's interesting that they added that in there. It might be a sign of something to come, or it might be nothing. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about gameplay and then we'll move into the units. So I mean, our boss battle here is a Beyblade master. He's been training up his Pegasus or his Pegasi tops, and now he just spins them. And for some reason, nobody understands that the weakness of this event is to attack the basket on his back.
I don't understand why this is such a big issue. There's like every single raid, there's always been like a part that you need to break, and then I don't understand why people aren't doing it for this event. Like I've seen so many notices go up, like saying you gotta break the gift basket, and then like still like half the people that I've like raided with don't do it. So
yeah, it's so interesting too though, because in Fraganoff it was so easy to get everyone to focus the tail, and in Hypnos everyone knew to target the hand. I forget which hand it was now. I think it was right hand.
yeah.
But I feel like everyone had it down back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I mean like literally 1.5 months ago. But nowadays it seems like they have an issue. That might just be confirmation bias on that part. On my part, I've only played the raid boss like 20 times at this point. At the time of recording this, but that's something that I've noticed, and people are having a pretty hard time grasping that information.
Yeah, for the raid, I think there's also some really interesting mechanics. Like now we have stuff that we can break that gives us buffs. I thought that was actually pretty interesting because now positioning definitely matters because you want to position yourselves to get those buffs and deal out those extra damage.
Yeah, I don't know, the raid boss is probably the most interesting gameplay wise we've seen.
I think it's pretty interesting. I also really like that attack set he does, where like it's like a triangular area that like rotates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought that was really fun because like the way to get to take advantage of that, what you need to do is you actually need to be closest to the enemy so that you don't need to move that far to change rotation. I think that's like So that's that.
I think it's also hard to kind of move out of the way. Like it's very skill testing, especially in the highest one, the EX fight.
Yeah, because that has even like more circle pie areas. So
you just got to be good at getting out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that other people aren't having too much trouble because my dark team is pretty stacked because I have both dark 5-stars in the game. But hopefully, with the correct 4-star team, you can do the event just fine. I imagine Kleiman would be pretty good for it. Or
yeah, honestly, like I'm just running like what is it, Orion, Suzuka, and Botan, and like I already beat all the I already like 3-starred the special, so it's definitely doable. It's not like too hard, but it's definitely doable.
Mm-hmm. I was just wondering if the difficulty increased without Yasuo in your team, because I definitely think that Yasuo just makes the event kind of a cakewalk to run through.
I mean, honestly, dude, Suzuka does a pretty hefty amount of damage. So I don't think not having Yasuo is like honestly a disadvantage because you can still beat it pretty fine without him. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I don't want him. But
yeah. So gameplay aside, the rewards for the event are going to be what we've seen recently. There was a change where the gold emblems that you needed to get went up from 3K to 4.5K, which means that the grind is going to be a bit more intense, especially when you consider EX raid drops being less than what they were before. I believe that they're still...
Is it less?
More uncommon. Yeah, well, Resplendent Refrain, there was like... People were calculating their chances, and it was like 1 in 10.
Huh. And
I'm not sure if it's the same for this one. I haven't really looked into that too much.
For me,
it seems like it's about the same.
For me, I feel like they raised it up a lot because like I get a special every other game that I play. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
That'd be good news. Yeah, that's something that I didn't research for this podcast. Believe it or not.
Good job.
But yeah, I mean, essentially our stance on that is just the more likely it is for you to get a special, the more easy it is for it to grind. But the less likely it is, the less easy, of course. But Resplendent Refrain, people were having a huge issue grinding out the event because you needed 4.5k golds, and the quest that was giving you 100 golds per run was only appearing like 10% of the time. So it was really hard to really max out that event for the grinders out there.
I honestly feel like for for that particular event, they were trying to like figure stuff out, and like it was like just like growing pains for the game. So I think they have it down now where it's like at a comfortable pace where it's like they don't give it out too often, but like they don't give it out like too less often. So I feel like they kind of stabilize themselves now.
That's good. I like the 4.5k golds because it does incentivize, you know, the grinders to actually play the game. And I think that kind of alleviates some of our issues that we talked about in the early episodes of the podcast, where we were saying that the event schedule was too slow and how, you know, we as kind of like a community were knocking out the events too fast.
Yeah.
I think this 4.5k gold requirement allows you to enjoy the event and grind the event without things getting too stale before the next event comes. Because like this one, I can decently time out how much I'm going to do a day and then understand like when I'm going to finish the event.
Yeah. The other surprising change in this event is that you can actually get single tickets from doing the boss fight with Ieyasu. Which is, that's like, I didn't expect them to do that. I don't know if this is going to be a permanent change or if this is like kind of like a like a New Year's gift from Cygames to us. That might be what it is, and it might not be here the next event. But
do you know how that works, by the way? You get...
So yeah, I mean, it's just whenever you open a chest with the Ieyasu boss fight, there's a chance that a single ticket will drop. Like that's what it is on paper, but I actually haven't gotten a single drop yet, and I've been using most of my stamp for the Ieyasu fight. So yeah, I don't know how beneficial it is, but
that's interesting. I'm sure that people will try to min-max their time with that and friend that boss battle as much as you can, which I mean isn't a bad idea. You get otherworld fragments and some other stuff.
You
roll for your Blazon summons.
The loot for this raid is actually like amazing. They give you so much free loot, especially if you break the gift box on the raid battle. So be sure to do that, not just once but twice. I think a lot of people don't know that.
Yes.
It like, would you call it respawning? I guess, or like it like resets where the gift box appears again and it has a full HP bar and you need to break it down. So make sure you do that twice in one raid fight, because that basically doubles your reward almost. So
please know what you're doing basically when it comes to this boss, because it's not just gameplay is for gameplay's sake. You can also get cool stuff just from playing the boss and dictated based on what you're doing in the boss. So I mean, stay careful. But basically that's the wrap up for the event. I should mention that the Blazon summon system is back, and I do not see any differences with it. 357 total drops from it, and then you can get a chance at your 5-star dragon or your 4-star Wormprint, which of course we'll be talking very soon. So do you have any wrapping up thoughts of the event?
Special shout out to Cygames for the map design and art. Like, I think this is straight up the most beautiful looking map that I've seen. And I honestly, like, I think just for like, that's just me like really enjoying like the whole like Japanese aesthetics. But yeah, I think this map is honestly one of the best looking maps that I've seen in Dragalia Lost by far. Like easily.
When you queue up into that waiting screen, the loading screen where it's just like waiting for other players. Yeah. Oh my god. Look at that scenery, dude.
Honestly though. Also like the music. I really like the main menu theme. Yeah.
But the main unfortunate part is that what's back?
What's back?
Yeah.
I mean, it's back for the non-special raids, but for the special raids, I think it has a different music. So
yeah, it does. Yeah. I only noticed it's part of the time, but every single time I did, I immediately turned my volume button all the way down. I was like, I'm not hearing this.
Dude, I still can't believe you don't like that song. I like yeah. I think it's an okay song.
It sounds so annoying. It's like, I don't know, it sounds like a Kidz Bop song.
But that's like Dalco style though. Like she likes to make a lot of like weird vocal sounds.
Well, the thing is that I like a lot of like most of the OST in the game. I'm a big fan of. I love Dalco's music, but just I don't know, something about that raid battle. Something about it, man. All right, I said that 3 times, so that means I'm running out of things to say about this event. So with that carefully placed segue, we're going to be moving on to the new Summon Showcase Eastern Emissaries. And in addition, we're going to be talking about the new raid battle characters exclusive to this event as well. So that means it's going to be a bit bigger than the facility event style discussion. So without further ado, let's just get into it. The first one we're going to be talking about today is the featured 5-star adventurer, and his name is Ieyasu. So Ieyasu is a 5-star Dark Blade attack unit. His passive skills, fully upgraded, of course. I'm going to be talking about adventurers as if they're fully upgraded on their passive skills and abilities, but Wormprints as if they're not fully upgraded, just as a little bit of prelude to that. I think that Wormprints are going to be very much going to be used in their base form, where adventurers are going to spend most of your time with them when they're fully upgraded. So that's the system we're going to do, and of course, GamePress or Gamepedia are sources for all these abilities. So if you want to look up what your Ieyasu is currently at in terms of passives, you can either go into the game or check out GamePress/Gamepedia. So, ability 1 is that when your HP is at 70% or above, your critical rate is increased by 10%. This is a skill that we see a lot in other units, and it's very welcome to have it here, honestly. Paralysis res, 100%, and critical damage plus 20%. Co-ability with strength plus 5%.
So I feel like this is kind of Cygames' way to apologize to like dark players, but this guy is like, he's strong. He's pretty strong. Like I think he has like the most strength right now in terms of like max strength out of like any other units in the game. And the fact that on top of that he has like crit rate and additional crit damage makes him ridiculously strong.
It's his whole entire like passive kit is really good, and I had to pull up the Gamepedia because for some reason GamePress doesn't have the skills. Get on your stuff, GamePress. You don't have your skills for Yasuo. Doing a call out here live on the show. Dragon's Roost headquarters does not approve. All right, but the skill number 1 is called Sakura Flurry. It looks so pretty. There's like sakura blossoms like flying everywhere. It's a bunch of fast hits of dark damage. You deal 8 of them. And it inflicts bleeding for 30 seconds, which means that it deals damage every 4.99 seconds, which is essentially every 5 seconds. It just deals lasting damage. Kind of like, I think of it like poison or burn in Pokemon. They just keep on dishing out that damage no matter how long you wait or don't attack it. That's really good. But in addition, you can't just stop there. You can't just have a really good skill 1 without a skill 2 to support it. So Blade Formation activates it for 15 seconds, and while the user is in Blade Formation, the user's HP gradually recovers with 35% recovery potency every 2.9 seconds. So every 3 seconds, you're getting your life back. You're getting your life back on track. You know, you got revived, you got revitalized, you're ready to go in there. You're grinding, dude. You're grinding. You're on that grind. All right. I don't even know where I was going with that. Critical rate against bleeding enemies is increased by 15%. So when assuming that you're fighting an enemy that is bleeding out, you are just an absolute powerhouse. Yeah. And even without that bleeding out buff, he's just a really good character. I venture to say that he is my favorite 5-star adventurer in the game, and that is not light praise.
Yeah, like if you guys thought Mikoto was strong, whew, it's like goodbye Mikoto. It's hello Ieyasu, because this guy's like So
and that's honestly a good thing when it comes to like Mikoto versus Ieyasu. I'm glad that they're different elements because I mean Mikoto still has his obvious uses for high Midgard Armor. Mm-hmm. That's just like a gameplay perspective to me.
In terms of Wormprint, I think the best one, in my opinion, would be Levin's Champion. I think, in my opinion. What Wormprint are you using? Because I know you have Ieyasu.
I'm 100% using Levin's Champion.
You're 100%? Okay, that's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard to deny it. It might not be the best Wormprint to use with him, but it's so appealing to just see more crit buffs on an already like crit heavy character, you know? So like...
You can like get it up to like... What would you get it to? 8%? So you can get it to, with Blade Formation, you can get it to like nearly like 40.
Well, by
50,
himself,
so.
he's 10% and a 20% modifier is applied to critical rate, and then you get extra critical against enemies that are bleeding out. So you stack the crits quite high. I think you get up to 30/40% when you have the 11th champion equipped, and assuming that you have the HP requirement to get that extra percent.
And then like slap on another like dagger unit with like increased crit chance for team, and like.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, like a good like co-ability to match with this. Yeah, he's really good. His kit is obviously made to have a really good synergy with himself and his surrounding team. So I mean, I think he's good in a vacuum and good in whatever dark team you decide to throw him on. He's just actively good, and I've used that word so many times. But I mean, how else can we describe this character?
I think the one thing that you need to do, like, be careful of is the SP cost of his blade formation, which is like almost 8k, and that's actually not a light SP cost by any chance. So
yeah,
a
lot of times I see myself doing skill number 1 twice before I can even see blade formation. So you need to be careful with the timing of your skills. Sometimes you activate blade formation and you just can't really do much with it because your Sakura flurry hasn't been regened yet, which is, you know, the main issue. He's very good, he's very fast, but you have to keep your timing good, you know. You kind of
similar to
strategy incorporated.
Yeah,
you can't just like go into a match and start, you know, wailing away from him and expect the same results as someone who carefully plans their skills. Like, he'll still be good if you just wail away with him, but he won't be as good as, you know, a good player that waits it out.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, I think we've talked plenty about this guy. He's very good. And any last words?
No. Solid unit.
Before he kills you with Sakura Flurry and Blade Formation combo with critical? Alright. Sounds good. So moving on, we have Sanzanka. So Sanzanka is one of our 4-star limited units. I believe she's limited, along with the rest of the cast here. 4-star Dark Axe defense type. So we're going to start with the skills. Deals shadow damage to surrounding enemies, Dancing Blossoms, and then draws them towards the user while inflicting bleeding. So bleeding is a new mechanic. Of course, I explained it before, but it's something that we see in these units, which I'm glad that they're kind of introducing something new. We've seen energy for the past 2 banners, so they keep on bringing in the new mechanics. I was worried about the energy units getting out of hand. You know, I think I expressed my concern to you guys, but like, what if they just make like energy Ezlith, and it's just like Ezlith with her same kit plus an energy buff, therefore making your old characters useless.
Yeah,
that's something that I won't put past Cygames to do if the game continues for a couple more years, but for the short term, I'm glad that they are promoting other types of
buffs rather than just
buffs and like gimmicks for the banners. So
the other thing with like energy is that the more characters that have energy, like the more strong it gets. So it's going to be really hard to like balance out this buff. Like I have no idea how Cygames is going to manage to like either like keep giving energy to new characters, or like at some point they got to like balance it out so that not everyone has energy. But
there are 2 things that could go down. It's either that they're developmental gods and they know which characters fit well in teams to where they can slap energy on characters and it won't be broken just because a team comp won't be that great, or they do not know what they're doing and they are not developmental gods and they'll put too many energy skills on all of the wrong characters and just break the game.
I mean, that's the other thing is like I don't, if like you want to make an energy team, then like I think people would just like slap together people who have energy, and I don't think that's good either. So like it's kind of rough from both like a developmental standpoint and like a player standpoint.
Yeah, it sounds like something that's going to be hard to maintain in the future, especially if they want to keep it going.
But getting back on topic, so Suzuka, did we finish going over your skills?
Yeah, so I'm on skill number 2.
Yeah.
We're talking about bleeding, and then we went on the tangent about new mechanics. But I think it was a good discussion. We needed to kind of get that out of the way, because I did mention my worries about energy in the last episode, so I'm glad that they're kind of straying away from that, at least for the time being. Skill number 2 is called Blooming Cradle. Blooming Cradle.
Yeah.
Activates Slumber Strike Stance, S, for the next 3/4 strikes. And it deals extra damage and inflicts sleep on those 4 strikes. Co-abilities are going to be Gauge Accelerator plus 30%. Speeds the rate the mode gauge decreases by 30%. Paralysis Res 100%. and something called Sleeping Punisher, which increases damage to sleeping enemies by 20%, which pairs really well with her second skill, if you were listening there.
Yeah. So just from
and then co-abilities defense plus 7%.
Yeah. So just from reading like her skills alone, you can kind of see how she's supposed to combo. So you basically use Dancing Blossom, you deal the damage, and then you pull enemies towards you. Use Blooming Cradle, and then you Force Strike, and then everyone starts sleeping, and then Sleeping Punisher is gonna start doing more damage to the enemies that are sleeping. So combo wise, she's great. I think there's a lot of potential for a huge damage output with her skills, especially because of how Blooming Cradle works, and because of the Dancing Blossom pulling an enemy thing. So I honestly think Suzuka is a really good dark unit.
Yeah, she's very interesting at the very least. And I like how they keep on putting in some new / interesting skills in their gacha pool. I think that's how they get people from a gameplay perspective that play the game from a gameplay perspective and not like a waifu collecting stance. To play the game, like you see skills like this, you see something that hasn't been done in the game before, you become intrigued by it and you want to roll, even for 4-star characters.
Yeah,
she's very serviceable and she offers something new that hasn't been seen before. So I'm all around a fan.
Yeah. And a fun fact about Suzuka is her voice actor is Riza Taneda, who is actually a huge voice actor in like the whole anime industry. She's voiced several of my favorite shows, including Shokugeki no Soma. She was the voice of Erina there, and also Shigatsu wa Kimi no
Food Wars?
Yeah, Food Wars. She's the main girl basically.
Oh.
Yeah. And she also voiced Kaori from Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso, or also known as Your Lie in April. And then if anyone's seen Your Lie in April, Riza actually uses a similar voice from Kaori for Suzuka, and like that actually made me tear up a bit because like goddamn, that show just makes me want to cry every time.
That show.
Yeah.
Kimi da yo, baby da yo. Here in the Dragons Roost, we should not start a chorus.
Dude, we need to do bad anime karaoke sometime. Can we please?
Yeah, we'll do a special bonus episode.
We'll get around to doing that sometime.
In the spirit of the New Year's.
Yeah.
All right. I'm pretty sure we said everything we need to say, so we'll move on here.
Excellent unit.
Excellent unit.
But then the sleeper
Adidas.
sleeper hit is Adidas, or as some people call him, Adidas, the shoe brand.
Well, the thing is that I think they need to bring in Nike, right? They didn't bring in.
Yeah, we need to get a Nike. Yeah, that's
yeah.
What we
Also,
now.
before anyone tries to correct me and says that it's Nike, it's not. When you go bowling, you don't get a strikey, and when you take a hike, you don't go on a hiking. So it's definitely Nike. Like I don't care what you guys say, but
so
it's Nike.
This guy's like insane. I personally think he's gonna power create Musashi hard. And the reason why I say that is because of his first ability, the Bamboo Cutter, which basically deals 3 hits and 1 delayed hit of 196% wind damage to enemies, and inflicts poison. So, but the thing is, his second skill, Dignified Soul, increases user's strength, and also changes the effect of Bamboo Cutter, where it no longer does poison damage, but it instead inflicts bleeding. So that means that you can inflict both poison and bleeding with a single character, and I think that's going to be really strong.
Yeah, and those SP costs are very closely tied. So I think it'll be very convenient to activate Bamboo Cutter once and then hold on to your Bamboo Cutter the second time it comes around. Because you'll get your Dignified Soul before you get your second Bamboo Cutter.
Yeah.
In most scenarios, so that's when you can do the Dignified Soul and then move that into bleeding.
Yeah. I can kind of see why they gave him both poison and bleeding, because poison is kind of something that wind units do. That's their debuff. But then the fact that they gave him bleeding makes him really strong. Also, I think he has like more base strength than Musashi, so I have a feeling he's gonna be like the new blade unit for wind teams. He's very good.
And it's interesting that it's wind too, right? We don't see that much on Banner.
Yeah.
Because last time we got 2 waters and then.
I'm really happy because like my win team's the worst, so
yeah,
solid addition.
And then glad that we got Adidas.
Yeah, and then for his abilities, we got Bleeding Punisher, which increases damage to bleeding enemies. 100% freeze res, and Broken Punisher. So,
Yes.
and then strength, of course, for blade units. So overall, he's a really solid unit. I would say if you like just roll for Adidas, because he's just I feel like when the next win unit event comes around, he's gonna play a major role in that. So
yeah,
definitely roll
and the Bleeding Punisher is also. I think we've seen that in another unit that we just covered. Is Bleeding Punisher new? I'm trying to see.
I think it is actually.
Yeah, it actually is new. There's so many Punishers, like the sleeping, all that type of Punisher. But this is the first time we've seen Bleeding Punisher, which, it's not anything too mind-boggling. It's not like, whoa, I can't believe Adidas has Bleeding Punisher. It's just an 8% buff to bleeding, which Yasuo does anyway.
Yeah,
from his heinous skills. But
so I
mean,
think
it's cool to see.
I think the fact that they gave him Bleeding Punisher instead of like, I don't know, like Poison Punisher kind of indicates that like, hey, like this guy does have poison, but it would be better if you use bleed instead of poison, is I think what Cygames is trying to kind of nudge us towards. So yeah, interesting unit. Definitely
interesting unit. I'm not sure how big of a fan I am that he does the poison. Like, obviously it would be better if he just inflicted bleeding right away and then his second skill like didn't do what it did, But he might be too slow, but he is, he might just be better than Musashi, and then that's why we use him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing is, like, having two debuff types also lets him, like, synergize off of more units. Like, now you can synergize both off of poison focused units and bleeding units. So, definitely something to look out.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, so without further ado, let's move on to our event, limited character, and her name is Botan.
The new best girl.
New besto girl of Dragalia Lost.
She's so cute.
She's really adorable.
She's adorable.
She's really cute.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, she does have a thigh high. She has one.
She has one.
This banner has one.
It's half.
Guys, it's worth pulling again. Alright.
We have 0.5 thigh highs.
Yes. Alright, so Botan is also the name of the pig from Clannad and Clannad After Story.
Oh,
so.
Dude, don't even remind me. Oh my god. Why?
Oh my god. Alright, we'll have a picture up here on podcast for reference. But yeah, Botan was a meme lord, and he made that show much better.
Yeah, like, I think Botan is like such a weird name. When I heard the name, like, racked my brain as to where I heard it, and there's actually a manga that I read a long time ago called Okami Shonen. And if anyone recognizes that manga, you get a digital high five from me, because that's one of the cutest and like best manga that I've ever read. But anyways, that's
I don't recognize it.
I'm going on a tangent, but
I don't get a digital high five. All right, so Botan, 4-star Dark Lance defense unit with 2 skills, as they all do, deals shadow damage. This one's called Petal Piercer, double P, PP. PP does shadow damage to enemies directly ahead, inflicts bleeding. Hey, I think I see a theme going on here. All of these 4 units have to do with bleeding. Wow. And then Perennial Grace increases the entire team's strength by 15% for 15 seconds. Womp womp,
Yeah.
Like, we've been seeing all these cool, like, skills that interact with each other. They have synergy with itself, and then you just get this skill on your limited unit that kind of gives you a taste of what the gacha units do, but not on the same scale. Which, I mean, so that's how they want to do it, right? The free unit will never be as good as the gacha units.
Yep. And then for abilities, we have Thaumian's Bane, which does increased damage to the Thaumian character. I still don't know what Thaumian even means, but that's a thing. And we have Paralysis Res and Skill Prep. So, yeah, she's not the best unit, I think.
She's very adorable.
She is,
I'm gonna 5-star.
Are you actually?
Till the end of time, yes.
I feel like I no longer obsess over Pia. Friendship with Pia has ended. Botan is now my friend.
Now my new best friend.
Her name is literally Naginata Cutie. Like, she's freaking adorable. Also, I'm really pissed that they didn't give out a Naginata Lance weapon for this event. I thought they would do that because it's golden opportunity. Like, they already designed it. Like, it's right there. They could.
But they didn't give us a Naginata Lance, but they gave us whatever the hell this new sword thing is. The paddle, the New Year's paddle weapon.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that later. But we
Learn about how to push out your weapons better. What the hell is this weapon I'm looking at right now?
Like the only like event specific weapon we got was like for Halloween, and that was like ages ago, and we haven't gotten a single one since. So I'm starting to wonder if they forgot.
That was one of the community's problems with the Christmas event. They were like, man,
like honestly,
we do not like that they haven't given us a weapon.
Yeah, like they could have given us like jingle bells or like a tree lance, like, and anything would have been fine, but like they gave out nothing. So I'm starting to wonder if like Cygames is like kind of unsure how to handle the whole weapon situation. Because I think
they instantly regretted giving out the weapons for Halloween because people didn't really have to craft out 4-star elemental weapons because
but I feel like
marginally similar.
I feel like there should be a way to motivate players to actually craft the weapons because of their uniqueness, while still maintaining the uniqueness of like event specific weapons. But yeah,
and like weapons are definitely no joke when it comes to the game.
Yeah, it's huge.
They give you an extra skill. Yeah. You know, they give your character more synergy. Either with the weapon or without the weapon, it just gives you another skill that can be called upon at any time. It's really sweet.
Yeah.
But that's Botan. So we're gonna move on to dragons, and there's only 2 new dragons this banner. One for the event, one for the banner. Marishi 10. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Probably Marishi 10.
Or some people call her just Marish.
Yeah. So. Marish has something called Daybreak Flurry, which deals shadow damage to enemies directly ahead and inflicts bleeding. Sweet.
Bleeding.
We have bleeding
ding,
on
ding,
the dragon. Ding, ding, ding. We have bleeding here. So that means if you have Yasuo and you don't have this dragon, your Yasuo is going to be marginally worse because you don't have the bleeding there. Also, speaking of Botan, you see those pigs?
Oh,
that's literally the Botan from Clanad. I'm telling you, bro.
Actually?
They took some inspiration. Maybe. I mean, they look. I think they're the same breed, but they look very similar.
Maybe it's because it's the year of the boar, so that I think that's like why they're.
Yeah. Abilities fully upgraded. Shadow Strength plus 60%. Sweet. It's a full strength buff. Like I don't know. What
honestly, I thought they would give her like what they did with a Dragonule John, where they have it's like both strength, split, strength and crit. I think it was, which would work amazing with Ieyasu. Like, let's be real here. If he got he got a dark,
or just like, or if they wanted to go full crit because they're mad, like, they're actually just insane. They went full crit on it.
Yeah. So.
But yeah.
Lost opportunity, but here we are.
Maybe they just thought that it wouldn't, like, that would be like, Ieyasu would be too good.
Maybe.
And we might be hyping up Ieyasu too much because we haven't seen the full ramifications of what he can do. Like, I've only been playing him for the event.
Yeah.
But he feels so great to play, and I can't imagine him being anywhere else than, you know, tier 1 or even high tier 2. So that's where he stands. I definitely think he's up there.
In terms of Marish, I think, like, not too much hype. And I think a part of the reason is because they leaked a new dark, or I don't even know if it was a leak, but they did show another dark dragon. And let's be real here, she's a cutie, and Marish she's meh.
The important part about that 5-star dragon is that it was a quote-unquote leak, not a data mine. Yeah. It wasn't something that we could see. Like, any person replicating the Dragalia Lost art style could have made that.
That's true.
And put it on 4chan or something. I don't know where the source was, but anyone can post on 4chan. You don't see who posts it. So
yeah.
It must be real, guys. Come on.
What I do really like about Marish is her sword animation. Like, that thing is sick. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
It's so cool. She like it's really cool. But yeah, when you get the chance, you should take a look because it's pretty sick.
Let's take a look. I've just seen still images of this JPEG character that you can roll in this gacha. All right, Shishimai, which is our 5-star light dragon, and also the dude we're beating up over and over again to get the sick tickets to roll the Blazon Summit.
Yeah, I think he's pretty cute. It's the whole Chinese dragon thing, and then you can see like a little foot sticking out, so you know he's pretty small. He just looks really big.
He's small.
He's
yeah, I like how you see the eyes inside the mouth as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like something like taking over whatever the hell.
His voice is like pretty screechy though, but he has a lot of meme potential. Did you see the what was that one thing where like it's like the colors become inverted and he's like major oof, and I'm like that's gonna get memed so bad. Like
I've been taking the opportunity to not look at Reddit for once in my life, and I didn't see all the memes associated with this event yet.
Trust me, the memes are gonna be wild and fire. But
yeah, bless ritual applies one of the following at random to the entire team. So it's a random ability, guys. Remember Sonoa? Remember how good that unit was? All right. So it's either increases strength by 20% for 10 seconds, increases defense by 20% for 10 seconds, or increases critical rate by 20% for 10 seconds. Why does this thing exist?
Yeah.
Why is it not fire?
RNG.
RNG fast. And increases critical damage 70% to light. So that's sweet.
Yeah.
Light critical damage.
I mean, like it's like he's free. You can mob him.
Yeah, he's free. Yeah. You can mob him. You can make him fat.
But I wouldn't really use him over like Jean or like any other solid like 5-star dragon.
Yeah, I wouldn't even invest the dragon fruit into him. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I've noticed definitely a dearth of dragon fruit in the game.
I wouldn't either.
So I've only been leveling up the 5-star dragons I've been getting from the gacha. I still have to level them all up.
Yeah.
Alright, so, I mean, that's our dragons. Now we're moving on to the doozy of a show that is Wormprints. I don't want to spend too much time on these, because a lot of the time would be spent hypothetically talking about, well, it might be good with this unit, or it might not be, you know? So, I'm not sure if that's the fruitful discussion that you want to hear on this show, because we have no idea, like, what synergizes well with what. We might have a couple of inklings here and there, but for the most part, we'll just tell you what they do, and then we'll let you decide for yourself, you know, if they're a good fit for you or not, or if you even want to roll for them. So our first 5-star Wormprint is Heralds of Hinamoto. So, like I said before, we're going to be talking about these Wormprints as if they have not been upgraded, because that's what most of us are going to be playing them as. We aren't mega whales that are willing to mob these things. Skill damage plus 20%, skill haste 4%.
Pretty straightforward.
Like
yeah.
it does some stuff. Skill damage plus 20% is cool. It's there. You can use it. Skill haste 4%. I think
I actually like skill haste. So actually, there's an interesting theory going around that like all the skill haste abilities give too much of a small percentage to the point where it's actually better to just add raw skill damage instead of skill haste. I haven't confirmed this yet, too. But I think there might be a point in that debate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I really like Jewel of the Sun, and I just generally like skill haste, but I guess it's not that efficient in terms of actual usability, unfortunately.
Because I think they need to either increase skill haste or lower the damage that you do from any other type of ability. Because obviously though, if you just have like your skill damage maxed out, your skill haste isn't really going to be doing much for you, because if the skill is more powerful, what's the point of skill filling it out faster? But that's that Wormprint. We'll see if it's any good. It's straightforward. Like, I'll put it on my characters if I get it, but I didn't get it yet.
What's really funny about this Wormprint is when people get it, they say they got a photo of Ieyasu instead of actually getting Ieyasu. So people are like, hey guys, look, I can mub a photo of Ieyasu.
Yeah.
Kill me. I want Ieyasu.
I like the stage 2 art though. It looks awesome.
Oh yeah, that does look pretty sick.
Yeah, it's showing you that the game is intended for you to wail out on this banner to get both of these units. You have to chase both of them. All right. Happy New Year.
This one's so cute. I love the art. It's so cute.
Do you like the stage 1 art or the stage 2 art?
I like the first one better. I'm not gonna lie. I like the first one. Not that
I do.
Not that the best girls in kimono is cute. Like when I got those JPEGs of Min and Ellie and Cleo in kimonos, I died inside. I can.
Did you have to upload those to the server?
Yes, I uploaded all of them. I'm sorry.
They put you on duty. They're just like, Jakchoy, please pull your weight for once in your life. Do this stuff for us. And you'll be like, but why? And they're just like, we'll kick you out if you don't. And you're just like, okay. That's how it happened, right?
They're so cute. I can die a happy man. Like yesterday, I was instead of playing the event, I legit just like stared at JPEGs of cute girls in kimonos. So there you have it. That's my Sunday.
Yeah. Every single time Zethia is featured on something, I get reminded that she's part of the game, and that I probably shouldn't be spending so much on these banners.
Yeah. When are we gonna get Zethia like as a unit? It has to happen.
I think they're waiting out. I think story has to end or something.
Maybe.
Or story has to reach a point where we obtain Zethia back, and she can be part. She might be a story unit. Wait, what if she's a story unit?
Ooh, that I would appreciate that a lot.
That would be spicy.
Yeah. Because
I think Light Zethia might be story, and then Dark Zethia's banner.
Because I still stand by my point where I'm gonna get Zethia and Daoko once they're released. Like I have to get them no matter what the cost. Like they're the only two units I'm actually gonna wail for.
Yeah, and hopefully they won't be limited. Hopefully they'll be permanently added to the pool.
Oh god,
because they are.
Speaking, yeah. Wait, okay. Let's finish going over this Wormprint first. But
yeah.
So Happy New Year.
Light res plus 8%.
Yeah, no one cares.
If you're in shadow, paralysis res. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like,
doesn't do nothing. Like, kind of sucks, but Happy New Year.
Tanky Wormprint. Yeah, but Happy New Year.
Yeah.
You know, you might have been pity broken and not have gotten Yasuo this event, but Happy New Year. Like, luck of the draw. This is an event one. Paralysis res plus 15%. Shadow buff time 15%. Okay, increases buffs. Sweet. It works with other characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like how luck of the draw is kind of a reference to. I feel like it's very dependent on what kind of team that you get. Yeah, it's very dependent on what kind of team that you get, and if you get a team that gives you more buffs, or you're equipped to a character that has a bunch of buffs, it's gonna be pretty good. It's something that you can kind of mess around with and build teams based off of. But again, I don't see much hope for
yeah.
it. It might be good though if you just like kind of like get a team to just have a bunch of buff fest going on.
The art's cute. I really like the art.
That's cute.
But
Guillermo, the stage 2 is not very much different from the stage 1, but there's a bunch of stars around Mim, so I mean, approved best girl.
And then the next
Hanatsuki Rally, which has boyos on the art. Last offense buffs strength by 20% for 15 seconds when HP drops to 30% once per quest. What the hell is this ability? You get a very marginal buff to strength for a very limited time when you're about to die.
Oh,
why in this game would you ever want to put yourself on the verge of dying?
This is where I think Cygames like this is like those times when I like have this moment where I think Cygames has no idea what they're doing, because there's obviously buffs that are like way better than this, but like I don't even know what the point of like these buffs are anymore. Like that's the other reason why I said Musashi is gonna get power creeped by Adidas, because Musashi has an ability where like his strength increases by like 20% or something like that when his health drops to a certain percentage, while like Adidas has literally an ability that increases his strength consistently. So like there's no way it's just like obvious power creep, and that's like where I think Cygames falls a bit short in their balancing.
This is obviously very bad. I would never consider putting this on any one of my units, because I'm not the type of player that would go down to 30% life on a consistent basis, unless I'm playing like advanced Dragon Trials, right? But in that case, I'd just be using the Wormprint tailor-made for the advanced Dragon Trial. So why would you even consider equipping this? It's a wasted slot, and I don't think, like, if Cygames is going to make us pay this much for the gacha, this is not something that needs to be in the pool, like, at all.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I hate that we have to spend for this thing. Could you imagine, like, doing a 10 roll and, like, you get 1 4-star and this is it?
I got a few of these, so I was pretty triggered, but
It feels really bad.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So
and then we have one last one
the
called
3-star. Are we doing it?
Vio Rise Alberia. Slayer strength plus 2%, increases strength by 2% for every 5 enemies defeated, you know?
Woo lad.
This is like, I would have played this with my Xander last event. Why didn't you give this to me for Christmas? I would have memed with
Well, I mean,
this
the other thing is like, Together We Stand is like, isn't it just this but better?
Let's take a look.
I'm quite sure it is. It's 5, so that's a possible 15% boost. And I think Striker's Strength gives another buff too.
Yeah, so Together We Stand is
Together We
skill
Stand.
damage plus 10, and then Striker's Strength increases strength by 3% for every 3 enemies defeated. and then this new one is
for every 5, so it's even less.
2% for every 5, but you can mub this one easily, so you can get up to 3%, which is base Together We Stand. Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-star. We knew that it was going to be bad, but
there you have it.
Yeah, I mean, I did play with Together We Stand as per your recommendation. It was very fun.
It was, yeah, that was the best part of the event, just like sweeping through units with Xander.
For some reason, it slipped my mind that they're basically the same skill. I read this out and I'm like, oh man, Xander, oh my god. But I mean, that's that.
Yeah. So should you pull or not pull? Obviously,
I want to say yes.
Yeah, the answer is most certainly yes, because there's no way you have a good Shadow team unless you pull on this banner. And also a disc.
I thought you were about to say unless you have Nefari, and I was about
not
to
even
stop you right there.
Nefari is like they need to fix Nefari.
She got better.
She did get better, but she's still not good enough. Dude, she's one of the lowest like damage dark units, and it's so sad. They need to up her damage a lot. She's like it's a pea shooter.
But yeah, you can have the honor of pulling the best 5-star dark adventure in the game if you get Ieyasu in this banner.
And then there's also a disc who's like a great addition to any win team. So I think it's a definitely solid banner, and you should most certainly pull. And I think a lot of people are like pulling. So
yeah, I didn't like wail out on Christmas. Well, I mean, I didn't wail out on Christmas because I got lucky as hell. But
yeah, I didn't wail out on Christmas either because I already had like really good water units. So
I wouldn't have wailed out on Christmas because I knew that Dark was coming. And Dark is definitely an element that everyone needs additions to. No matter how well you are. Even if you have Nefari, you need Ieyasu as your 5-star Dark.
Sure.
That's sweet. Like, banner's nice. Event's nice. I'm a big fan of the event. I think it's probably my favorite since the one dropped.
Yeah. I think it's my favorite too. The music, the design, the concept, like the whole Eastern like people visiting I think it's really interesting. Opens up a lot of new possibilities for story wise now that we know other nations also have this like dragon ability. Kind of different like with the whole sacrifice thing, but pretty interesting stuff overall. So I think this is one of the best events in Dragalia Lost thus far.
It used to be Resplendent Refrain for me. That was a really fun event.
Really?
I like the music and the raid battles. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people share my opinion on that, but I really liked that event. It was cozy. The music was good. It got me in the mood for Christmas. But I didn't pull any limited units from that banner, so friendship ended with Resplendent Refrain now.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell this New Year event is my new best friend. New Year's Tidings, Fortune from Afar is my new best friend. That's a mouthful. Okay, so... aside from the event, there are some really cool updates to the game. So, if you want to pull out that credit card, boys, you know you want to pull out that credit card. There are some New Year's party packs, they call them. And this kind of ties into a segment that we wanted to talk about on the show. What is your best value for the dollars that you spend in this game? And this is it, Chief. Like, this is the best value that you'll possibly get in the game. They gave us another 5-star ticket for whatever reason. So you can spend 40 USD. I'm going to be talking about US dollars because I think most of our viewers are American. Feel free to check your game store page to see what your exchange rate is if you are not dealing with US dollars. But for the New Year's Party Pack, you get a 5-star adventure ticket and some Champion's Testament and some Diamantium and some mana. I think it was like 2k Diamantium plus the 5-star ticket for $40. It's not the cheapest 5-star ticket because, of course, the welcome packs trump that.
But you get Diamantium.
But if you're like me, but if you're like me, I mean, the welcome pack gives you 1,500. So
yeah, I think my recommendation for this one is like hold on to the 5-star until more gets added. Like I think by this point, most people probably will have the base 5-star units, so probably just wait for the pool to get larger.
Yeah, or if your luck has been bad, or you're like a free to play / cheap to pay player. Yeah. If you want to be cheap to play, I think $40 is not the worst way to spend your money for what would almost guaranteed be a 5-star.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I always jump on the 5-star tickets when I can, even if my chance is low. I have 10 base 5-stars, so 2 of them are limited at this point. But I always take my chances with that because a chance at a 5-star is better than no chance at a 5-star.
I still want that Maribel.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't have Maribel or Makoto yet.
Ooh, I forgot you didn't have Makoto. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. So aside from that, the other packs are Upgrade Special, which is $8. You get 500 Diamantium, 20k mana, 100k rupees, 50 gold crystals, 20 gold whetstones, 20 Wormprint waters, and 2 succulent. Hear that succulent dragon fruit, the most coveted currency in this game. Feeding those dragons. So that's your $8 pack. Your New Year's Dragon Unbind special. This is very interesting because you do not get these for that cheap, but you can here. You can get 960 Diamantium, some mana, some rupees, and your Unbind 5-star Dragonstone for only $10. You can only buy this thing once. This is the pack that I would recommend you buy.
If you're gonna get anything from this, get this. Because this is... Yeah. You're gonna want this.
Normally these are locked behind a $40 monthly pack paywall.
Yeah.
Which you get a Dragonstone and you can unbind something. It's really good, especially for a player like me who almost has like an unmobbed or max unbound Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting really lucky on the 5-star dragons. You don't call me Dragon Daddy Reala for nothing.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like people on our podcast had names. You know how like Clocks was like the Wormprint Queen. I'm Dragon Daddy.
What am I?
What are you? A free to play player, boy.
Maybe. I'm just still free to play, by the way, kind of ish.
You got the welcome pack. Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's like maybe I spent like $50 on this game tops. That's about it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I usually don't promote like buying packs, but honestly, like Cygames, they're great developers, and like they're also giving us a lot of free stuff. Like, did you know we have another end of the New Year bonus coming up?
Apparently, I'm not sure this is true, but there's a data mine that we were getting.
Yes, we're getting like
3 tenfold tickets.
We're getting a crap ton of temple tickets and more Wormite. So that like
they're giving us a bunch of free stuff. But I mean, you get cool stuff with this. We'll go through the rest of the packs before we do closing thoughts. They give us this insane dark upgrade pack that I really want to get. You get 2k Diamantium for $40. This is all $40. 210 orbs, 3 Champion's Testament gold, and then 6 Knight's Testaments, the silver one, and 70 of the tier 2 orbs, and then 30 of the tier 3 orbs, and then 150 scales, and then 50 of the tier 2 scales. It's sweet. Like, if you freshly pull Yasuo and you're just like, man, I don't want to grind for this, I just want to get him to unmobbed like immediately. Hell yeah, like we in here, boys. I think this just like takes him straight to the top.
I'm kind of hesitant on this one because like they're all stuff that you can grind for. It's really for the people.
Yeah, but
who,
why
like...
do it when you can just pay $40 and grind the event instead?
That's like paying $40. I don't know. Yeah, honestly, I think this one's up for like
grinding time.
More of like a personal choice. But definitely
or
optional.
If you just want to buy all the packs.
or you can do a Reala.
I'm saving one of them for last because it's insane. But Lucky Hanatsuki Paddle Pack. What is this thing? Okay, so people on the Facebook groups and Discord have concluded that this sword 5-star item is basically equivalent to an unmobbed like 5-star tier 1 or tier 2 weapon. Tier 1/tier 2. We don't know how much yet, or that's what people were suspecting. So, I mean, it's good. Like, it has something called Happiness Spike, which deals damage. And it has Yuden on it. So if you want a meme, you can have it. But it's not doom and gloom like people were saying early on. It's not like they're selling you a 5-star elemental for free. It's a 5-star tier 2 that has a 3rd skill, you know?
Yeah.
It's nothing special. You can't upgrade it further. It's just kind of like, oh, I have an extra sword unit. I don't want to make a 5-star tier 2 for the sword unit. Here you go. Take the fucking paddle.
Yeah,
like,
huge meme.
That's what it feels like to me.
I think it's a meme thing.
Yeah, it's still there though. You still get 1,500 Diamantium for $25, which
not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not the worst.
It's one of the last packs I'd buy if I was clearing out the shop.
So yeah,
I mean it's there.
Unless we get some like new info that this random Yuden paddle is like strangely good, I would say hold off and like get the other packs first before going for this one.
Yeah. Here's the big one though. The New Year's Party Pack Ultimate Unbind Special. It sounds like we're like a Street Fighter game. You know, Turbo Edition, Special Edition, Unbind Ultimate
EX,
Ultimate XXX Temptation, rest in peace.
Omega. Yeah.
Yeah, Omega Ultra Tournament Edition. This is $80, okay? The price of 2 brand new 3DS games. The price of, I don't know, paying someone to be your girlfriend for 2 weeks.
Also the price of a GOTY Edition AAA video game. So it's pretty costly, but I mean...
But you get 4,500 Diamantium, 200,000 mana, 300,000 rupees, one of the tier 1 bricks that upgrade your 4-star weapons, one of the tier 2 bricks, Damascus Ingot, that upgrades your 5-star weapons, a silver key, tier 1, and then golden key, tier 2, and then you get 2 more dragon stones. So it's essentially everything you could possibly get for the monthly packs and more, plus Diamantium, for the low price of it, $79.99. Buy today. Like, if you wanted to get power, if you wanted to pay for power, this is where the complaint should come from, not the whatever the hell the paddle was. This is where you pay for power. $79.99. You've heard it here, folks. But yeah, that's what we wanted to talk about. When it comes to value in the game, this is the best one. If you have some extra like Christmas money or holiday money, front load your account now, because this is the best deals that you'll get, and then spend how you want in the future. You'll be regretting it if you eventually decide to spend and you didn't pick up on the deals now. I know it's going to hurt your credit card when it comes to January spendings. Yeah. But it'll pay off, assuming that you wanted to spend this much on the game anyway.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, responsibly. It's like help the devs out, you know. It's like the game is free, and like I would say, if you want to show the support for devs while giving you a boost in the game, I'd say this is probably the best way to do it. And like maybe you don't need to spend money for the rest of the year. Who knows?
Yeah, I think the best way to do it is still the welcome packs. But if you've already maxed those out, go for these. And then of course, like the value packs aside from these are a close second, or they might still be first. Who knows? They might still be first. But yeah, take a look for yourself. See what Diamantium you get for what dollar spent, and see what works for your account and your financial kind of like abilities to spend in this game. But with that, we are here at the end of the year. December 31st is the day that we're recording this podcast. We hope to get it out
right before New Year's.
We hope to get this podcast out on New Year's Day. So let's talk about our New Year's resolutions for the Dragon Series. This is what we were talking about at the very start of the episode. It's taking us an hour to get here. So
well, actually, first of all, I haven't even we didn't even plan this, but I kind of wanted to ask and talk about your thoughts on DL first year. You know, now that we've like, it's a new year. Like, what are your thoughts on like how DL has like grown since launch?
Okay, I'm obviously biased because I have a 7-episode podcast on this game, but it is absolutely incredible. I think it is probably the best gacha game on the market today, in terms of just like community interaction, community support when it comes to giving us free stuff, and just overall gameplay, right? Like, as a waifu collecting simulator, it's probably not the best gacha. It's probably still like, you know, Fake Grand Order, whatever the hell you guys want to play. But from a gameplay perspective, I think Dragalia Lost is the most vast and varied as far as gacha games go, and I'm happy to be continuously spending money on it.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that like I think us DL players kind of take for granted is like, when you step back and look at all the other gacha games, Dragalia Lost is one of the most unique like battle combat systems that I've seen in any gacha game. Period. Like
the co-op is something that like when this game came out, everyone was just like, wait, I can play with other people in real time. Yeah. Using Wi-Fi, something that our phones have had since the beginning of the iPhone. You know, it's like I can actually do this with my hardware now. It's sweet.
Yeah, and I think that's like.
What about you?
That's kind of like what gets people going. For me, you know, I think it was a really strong launch. The game kind of like it had its bugs, you know, it had its flaws, and I think the game did have a bit of growing pain. I was also really curious as to how the collaboration between Nintendo and Cygames, which are like two very big companies that focus on very different things, was going to work out. But I don't think there's been any issues regarding their collaboration. So
but there's no issues, but there hasn't been anything that's like straight up shown us
any
like,
benefits,
what they're really capable of. You know, this feels like a Cygames product through and through. I don't know why Nintendo is really involved.
Yeah.
And from a consumer's perspective, we don't know that. You know, we don't know what Nintendo is doing or limiting Cygames from doing or enhancing their, allowing them to do, basically.
When the game was announced, I was like low-key expecting like a Charizard dragon or something like that. But we didn't get any of that, so I was really surprised.
Yeah. I'm just I'm curious to see why the Nintendo collaboration's here for, It might be a Nintendo Switch release. People have been speculating that because the game is native widescreen. There might be something more under the scenes to come from the Nintendo collaboration, or maybe, they had a deal where they put Yuden in Smash as one of the DLC fighters. We don't know yet, right? But that's all part of the allure of the mystery here. They might be out here making history. I sound like a freestyle rapper, but they might make some history here with the first, like gacha character in a competitive fighting game.
Yeah, that'd be really big. And then I guess the other like thing, I think the issue with DL is like kind of the lack of endgame content. Like sure we got High Midgard and sure we got Hybrid and Hilda, but I feel like those are very late game goals and there's nothing like in the middle for us yet. And I feel like that's definitely one gap that they need to work on for 2019 is filling in this gap between High Midgard and like what's like the next hardest thing? Probably like Master Dragons or like Master Onslaughts. They need to fill that gap.
I'd say like Master Imperial Onslaught is the hardest thing. But there's a huge bump down, where you can, in some cases, you can even auto Master Imperial Onslaught if your team is correct, and you have to be there with a team of 3 other players for the High Dragons. They all know what they're doing. They all have their stats maxed out. So that's something that I can work on. I haven't been feeling that issue too much yet, because I just kind of leave it on the background, auto it. But I definitely think I could appreciate this game on a much more deeper level if they gave us some new type of like content that kind of like the intermediate players or almost advanced players could do. Because I haven't touched the High Dragons yet. I'm building my Xanfried towards Hybrid Hilda, and I'm building Vanessa / Verica for High Midgard, but I'm not quite there yet, and I'm still grinding for it. So, please send help, Cygames. Give us almost advanced players more content to kind of go over. But that's enough for Dragalia Lost in 2018. Let's talk about the Dragon's Roost in 2018. We've had a pretty good soft launch this year. We've gotten up to, almost 60 subscribers, 57 at the time of recording this.
What's really funny is that this podcast came out of a meme while we were screwing around in like voice chat, and we're like, hey, let's do a DL podcast, and then I was like, okay, I'm down.
Yeah. And then I approached Sam, and I was trying to get my foot in the door because I was like some random kid on the call, and I was like, hey Sam, you want like a dude to edit your podcast? And he's like, wait, this is the thing? And I'm just like, yeah, dude, let's make it a thing. And he's like, okay, let's make it a thing. And then we formed our team of 4,
the OG squad.
With the OG squad,
that's what we were.
That are no longer with us, but might still be with us. So, speaking of Sam, we have something in the works.
We do.
Right? We don't want to reveal too much information just yet,
but
we might have a separate gacha podcast with Sam.
Yes. So this is kind of still in the works. We're still trying to figure out schedules, what's going to be in the content for it. But basically, what we're thinking about is where we know that a lot of gacha players who play Dragalia Lost are interested or are playing other gacha games. So we thought it'd be interesting if we do kind of like a bi-weekly podcast where we discuss collab events, anniversaries, or like maybe like devs like screwed something up and killed a game, like Rip Knights Chronicle, stuff like that. There's a lot of interesting things going on around in the gacha economy and like what games are doing differently to make themselves stand out from other gacha games. And I think there's a lot of interesting things that we can learn from each and every game that's being released. So this is
definitely, and by bi-weekly you mean twice a week, or I'm sorry,
every other week, twice a week. So this is something in the works, but we're hoping to get this done by 2019.
Alongside that, we're working on a Discord server.
Yeet.
Please let us know in the comments, or just kind of reach out to us if you would like to be part of this Discord server. It's just going to be shilling our content basically, and interacting a bit more with the community, because of course we have YouTube comments, but we don't think that we know you guys on a personal level as much as we should be knowing you guys, because we're such a small community, but yet we've only known you guys on like a viewer audience scale.
Yep.
So we're hoping to move past that and kind of break the ice a bit. While talking with you guys, I'll definitely be active in the server because it'll be the server for our podcast.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to spoil too much, but let me just say that we might be getting some other prominent DL community members as guests for future episodes. So definitely look out for that. That's something we're working on.
Stay tuned. We're making it big, boys.
For sure.
We're doing this. And then we'll have like some event gameplay going on.
That's another thing we're trying to work for is like
it'll depend on our schedule. Sometimes event come at weird times and I have to like go to school because LOL, I'm a baby, a senior in high school XD. But we'll record gameplay when we can, even if it's a day late, where we just kind of go through the story. And since you can do the story chapters online, I think you could set up a room for story chapters if you need help with it, so we can both be in the story chapters and kind of wreck the story together. I think it'll be kind of funny content because we'll read through the story, and that'll be the only time where I actually read through the story for these things. So
yeah,
I mean, it will force me to actually get more engaged in the lore of Dragalia Lost because I play it for a gameplay perspective.
Also, we got our profile picture. Yeah.
And by the time that this episode's out, you should be seeing
it
on our page.
Special shout out to Rambo. I'm gonna link his Instagram below. He was very reasonable with his pricing, and he gave us a great profile picture to work with. I absolutely love it. I think it's adorable. Big shout out to him. Go ahead and give him a follow.
Yeah, and I'll put that emote that you keep on talking. He keeps on tagging us in our chat. Even like the members that are no longer part of the podcast. He's like, our new profile picture. He has like some Pepe meme, like GIF emote, like playing. Do you remember that one?
Wait, which one?
The Pepe one where his head just keeps on tilting like left and right a bunch. You keep on sending that to us. I'm like, what is this?
I'm just so excited for the profile. I've never done art. I've never commissioned an art before, so that's why. I'm sorry. I'm just hyped.
You popped your commission, Terry. Okay.
Anyways, guys.
And with that joke, we will leave you off with Happy New Year's. Yeah. Please spend the time that you have
with your family and people that you love.
Enjoy. Yeah. Enjoy making resolutions fall flat by March.
Thank you guys so much for following us through 2018. Thank you so much for our subscribers, and we hope to make this podcast even better for 2019.
Yep, we aren't stopping anytime soon. We have 2 dedicated members here to bring you the finest and most personality-driven Dragalia Lost podcast on the internet. Don't you forget it. If you like the episode, leave a like. If you wanted to comment on it, leave that comment. Hit that bell if you want to hear us talk more and be nuisances and, I don't know, just idiots talking about Dragalia Lost, the game, the hit mobile game, co-developed by Cygames and Nintendo. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys.
Thank you guys.
On the next episode
Happy
of the
New
Dragon
Year.
Happy New Year!